Oh, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Woo! Backwards audio can only mean one thing. Number one, we don't have the rights to play that song forward. And number two, it's the Yeah, Come On show. Hey, it's Southside Steve. I'm your host, and that's my co-host, Brett Barney. And we are the Yeah, Come On show, and lots to talk about this week. It's been quite the week. You and I got some private time. We went on some vacations. We did. One of us went to the beach. The other one went to Kiowa, not for the beach, but for the golf. Yeah. Guess who? Yeah, you dick.
Oh, I know exactly who. It's this guy right here.
Yeah, you got the dream. You got the dream vacation, and my vacation was from hell.
Oh, and I gotta hear about this. The best part about this podcast is no matter what has been said, I've tried to avoid or any posts you've made, just see
Yeah.
what you've done because I need to hear it all raw right now.
Well, it starts off, a family packs up and puts everything they can in an SUV because my wife didn't want to take my truck because she has the cameras and the headrest. And it's like, we're going to be in a vehicle for anywhere between 7 and 8 hours. Our kids need movies, whatever it takes. This is their comfort zone. And I'm like, fine, I will pack like an airline employee. It's not like I haven't packed airplanes. So I got everything in, closed the door, and I'm like, nobody opens the hatch. Not till we get there, and at least two people are standing to catch shit. So it was packed in like that. And then we leave, and we're driving, and the rest of the family's already on the road. We're leaving on a Saturday morning. We're waiting till it's nap time for our youngest, our 11-month-old, and nap time's around 10:30. So we're on the road about 10:15, 10:20, driving, and then all of a sudden we're hearing about all these traffic jams. We're like, what? And just south of the airport, my old stomping grounds, where I went to high school off Old National Highway, where I know all the back roads, don't need any GPS. I'm being told, get the hell off the interstate. There's a 1 hour and 20-minute delay. And I'm like, what? It's construction / crash. So we get off the road. Now everybody's on the back roads. Long story short, I'm in a car 2 hours, and I'm like 40 miles from home. And I'm like, not good. Not good. My son's waking up, and I'm like, no. I should already be in Alabama. No. And, the car ride was brutal. We stopped like 6 times due to crying infant. My son, Brooks, was a champ. He had a couple, pee-pee poop breaks, where I'm like in a goddamn gas station from hell holding my son over a toilet letting him poop. I mean, it was brutal.
Wait. All right. We got to stop right here. This is my first question. What kind of gas stations? Now, I'm a strict Love's or Quick Trip or Racetrack when I'm on the road.
Well, Racetrack, I proudly endorse, but they weren't on the road the trip that we were taking. Several people were still out of gas, so we hit a BP, we hit a Billy's Barbecue and Gas.
Roll Tide.
Roll Tide, yeah. My God dang. And my wife picked up some boiled peanuts. I'm like, when? You're happy? Great.
Spicy or regular?
Spicy. Always spicy.
Yes, thank you.
2 reasons. She likes it spicy, and the other reason, I don't eat them. I'm like, I love them, but not spicy. So she knows that. So she gets them all to herself. So, we're going to these gas stations. We get on the road. We finally get down there. Everything's fine. And we're wondering why Parker, our youngest, 11-month-old, Brooks is 4, why he's so cranky and crying. We're like, that's not his nature. He's a happy baby. He doesn't mind car rides. We're like, what's up? Well, then we figure out the kid's got a fever. And we're like, all right, well, let's give him some Motrin. We do. We have that with us. Then we give him the Tylenol. And we notice how hot he is. And Amanda's like, something's wrong. Something's wrong. I'm like, man, he's just probably running a fever. It's no big deal. And I'm like, it's no big deal. She's up with him 4 times. I mean, every time I woke up in the room, my wife's holding him. I'm like, oh my God, are you getting any sleep? She's like, no. And so, Steve, I'm worried. Feel him. Put your hand on his chest, all that stuff. Well, we take him into the doc in the box, and they say, we've had a few earaches. Let's look in his ears. One ear's pink. The other one's normal. Let's be on the safe side. Let's put him on antibiotics. Because you're on vacation, you don't want him getting cranky. And if this thing kicks in, he's not going to be good. So we put him on antibiotics. So we go a day and a half with my kid on antibiotics, still the fevers. And we're like, we can just tell. So we go to get a thermometer, we're like 101s, 102s. I'm like, shit, man, all right, well, let's give it another day. Well, we give him a nap. She goes down to wake him up because we're going down to the beach. He's pale white. His hands are purple. His feet are purple. His lips are purple. And he's shivering, shaking. And I'm like, what in the hell? To me, just on a glance, I'm like, we're having oxygen issues. He's not getting enough oxygen. A little bit of labored breathing. And she's like, well, should I call her? And I'm like, get in the car. We're gone. We're going to the dock in the box. And from there, we'll see if we're headed to the hospital. I said, start making phone calls. Brooks, I call my father-in-law. I'm like, don't walk, run. He gets there in about a minute and a half because we're just off the beach. I'm like, take our son. We're out of here. So we get there. They immediately put him on oxygen. They're telling me, all right, his oxygen level's back up to 97. I don't know where it was before. And she's like, we need to transport. I'm like, so it's whirlwind. So the ambulance is on the way. It's local. He pulls in about 7 minutes, fire rescue. And they're taking my son out and they're hustling him. And I see the nurses making that kind of funky eye contact. I said, what are you not telling me? And she goes, we just don't know. I mean, I don't want to say, I just don't know. And I'm like, fine. And, I start talking to the ambulance dudes. They're firemen. My brothers are firemen. And, I'm good with these kind of guys. I'm like, hey, man, it's my son. And I noticed my voice getting choked up. They're putting Amanda in the ambulance. They're like, follow us, put on your hazards. We start running intersections with reds. Don't try to stay with us. You'll get there. Stay safe. One guy comes back and coaches me. Take a deep breath. Take a deep breath when all of a sudden we're out of sight. Don't worry about it. We got your son. He's in the best of care. Just you need to get there safe. How far is this? 53 minutes to the hospital.
Holy shit.
We're driving to Gulf Coast Hospital in Panama City from 30A.
That's a hike.
I'm like, oh, God, you got to be kidding me, dude. So Amanda's in the ambulance. My kid's strapped in. They got oxygen on him. They're sitting there hovering over him and doing things, and that sucker pulls off. And it's going decently quick. I'm like, what is going on with my kid? Amanda has her phone, but I know she's involved. I'm not going to be that guy. I'm like, she'll call me if she needs to. She'll call. I'm just going to stay with her. And sure enough, I stay with the ambulance for about 20 maybe minutes because it was pretty quick and people were giving me space and I had the hazards on. Then all of a sudden they start hitting the reds and going and I got cut off. So the last 30 minutes I drove by myself. I didn't know where, they were. So my mind's doing shit. I go ahead and record something. I put it out on Facebook. My wife sees it. My family's all pissed off because now they're getting phone calls. But we had just had a Zoom meeting that morning for, rock radio. And they're like, share everything, good and bad. It doesn't always have to be good, share with your listener.
It was so that was one of the few things I did see. And I texted you, was like, because I had people started hitting me up asking me.
Yeah, and I'm sorry, you of all people, I should have called to give you status.
It was honestly, it made me go and look at the video because I'm at the beach myself. So I was like, shut the phone down. The end of the week, I got the thing. It was like, your phone usage is down 35% this week. I was like, I'm trying
because I'm on vacation in Kiowa.
Yeah.
That's why. And I'm in 38.
I did see the video and it was very raw. I mean, it was extremely raw. Like you were not putting anything on. Like you were just your dad,
Yeah, I was a dad at that moment for sure. And I broke down crying at one point, talking to my mom and my mother-in-law, just because I didn't know. Amanda just said to me right when she's, what if I'm seeing him for the last time? I'm like, don't even say it. Just get in. We don't know. We don't know what's wrong. So he throws up in the ambulance, unbeknownst to me, and then his color starts coming back a little bit. And it turns out he had a very high fever. He was a 104 and then like 103.3. And they say when you get a fever like that, your blood retreats into your body. And that's why he was so pale and purple hands. He said, what you should have done is ice him down. I'm like, I got a kid with purple hands, feet, lips, shivering, and you want me to ice pack him? I never would have thought. I'm like, no, I would have. Oh, we did the opposite. I wrapped the kid in blankets, which I shouldn't have done. I didn't know it was a high fever. So we get there and they're just like, look, it's some kind of virus. It spiked a fever. This is why it turned that way. This is what you need to do if it happens again. We can't let you go until his fever's normal. Took about another hour and a half. So we were at the hospital. We didn't get back. It took us 6 hours between leaving and getting back. So that was a day shot. My in-laws are at the pool with my son and they're taking care of him. I'm not in the house 25 minutes with everybody kind of circling the wagons over Parker that I hear my sister-in-law go, "Oh shit." I'm like, "Oh shit, what?" She goes, I didn't know. And I'm like, "What?" And Brooks is coming up because he's reacting to her. So he's starting to cry. I'm like, "What's going on?" She goes, "I was brushing his teeth and he handed me, this tube." And she shows it to us. And she goes, "And I saw paste." She brushed my kid's teeth with butt paste. Butt paste. So there's
Little
regular
preparation
tooth.
H.
Yeah, it's like for a damn rash. And Amanda brought it down there because she knew they'd get sand in their pants, so she was prepared for a little
For
raw
diaper
buttocks.
rash.
She was she brushed his teeth with diaper medicine or rash medicine.
I mean, bring a little levity to the situation. That's actually kind of fun. You're gonna tell
So
that story forever.
yeah, so then I'm not even back 30 minutes, and my other sister-in-law is on the phone with poison control because it says call poison control. And they're like, and she says butt paste, and she kind of giggles. The dude at poison control started laughing. He thought it was funny. I'm like, and I'm in the background going, "Dude, man, you're not supposed to be the one laughing. What do we do?" I'm being still like, "Oh, super dad. And they're like, "Take a towel and wipe down every one of his teeth. Wipe down his teeth. And then rinse his mouth as best you can, and then brush his teeth with regular toothpaste, but not with the same toothbrush." So we had to throw his little toothbrush head away on his little electric thing. So we're using a regular toothbrush that I had, and we're brushing his teeth. And they're like, "Well, what's the biggest fear? What do we need to worry about? Do I need to make him throw up?" He goes, "What do you think he ingested?" I don't know. He was down with my drunk ass sister-in-law. I don't know. And he says, "Well, he might have some really bad diarrhea," but he didn't. So that was good. We just had a little scare there. No diarrhea, so he must not have swallowed any. And I'm like, okay, what the F can go wrong now? And my son didn't feel good, Parker, until like the last day that we were there. So he got sick on Tuesday. So the week was just a bust. And it was one little stupid thing after another because we get down there to the ocean and we're like, cool, let's do the ocean. What do you mean we can't do the ocean? It's a double red flag because of the wind.
My God.
Double red flag. I'm like, because there's a riptide. So nobody, they're going up and down the ocean in those little four-wheelers. It's the police and the Coast Guard guy. And they're like, if you get in the ocean, it's a $500 fine. I'm like, what about just to take a piss waist deep? He goes, absolutely not. You can't go in the ocean. So I've never seen so many people jetting it up to the sand dunes and peeing. But none of us could get in the ocean. So you keep thinking every day it's going to get better. It doesn't. Here's the other fun fact. We didn't want to haul beach chairs and umbrellas, but it's a private beach area, and you're not allowed to do the big 10-footers. You have to use the beach people's stuff because they want a cool, crisp look down the beach. So we rent 2 chairs and an umbrella for $180 for the week. Then I'm like, that morning when the ocean was still cool and you could get in it, I got an extra umbrella for $20 a day, tacking on another hundy. So I'm like 250, 280 deep on this.
Yeah, you're about 300 in right now.
And I can't use either of the umbrellas. And there's no refunds. So I can use the 2 chairs. Do you know what it's like sitting on the beach in 85 to 90 degree weather with a clear sky and a sun with no umbrella? It sucks. It's cool if you're 25 trying to tan. I see it.
I'm a little burnt still.
Yeah,
if my shirt wasn't
I hear you.
so red.
So I'm like, shit, we're out here frying. So then I get relegated to the damn swimming pool so Brooks can get in the swimming pool. So I'm up there with all the other parents that don't want their kids to fry. So I'm having to have all those dumbass parent conversations. Brooks a hit at the pool. Everybody knows him. He's playing on the Asian kid's alligator. He's with the redheaded kid's squirt guns. I labeled people so I knew who I was dealing with. And the parents. I'm trying to drink cocktails up there, but I can't get drunk with my son. So I'm just having a few. And I'm just like, what the hell? And the rest of them on the beach, or Amanda's, inside with Parker because we're not trying to let him get any sun. So the whole vacation was a damn bust. Nobody took a hit and gave Amanda and I a break. We kept thinking, all right, the in-laws will take them for just 3 hours. Let Amanda and I just go out. Somebody will take. Nobody wanted to touch my kids. I got one with butt paste in their mouth and the other one with high fever. Nobody wanted to come near us. So it was a vacation from hell. Hell. And the drive back, I hit more wrecks. I'm like, why does everybody a dumbass? I'm like, there's 2 wrecks on through town, 4 wrecks on 285, and the ride says it's going to be 3 minutes apart, and both of them were screaming an hour and 50 minutes. I'm like, am I ever going to get home? Finally, I'm 10 miles from home, and I stop at CVS. And they're closing the doors. I go, I got to have my drugs. I need my little prescription drugs. And she's like, well, I'm sorry, we're closed. I'm like, look, I got a sick kid out there. No. I need the drugs. You're going to give me the drugs. I spend a lot of money up in here. Y'all know who I am. Hello. And finally, the head person, pharmacist came up. She goes, it's okay. I've got him. So she gives it to me. And then she's giving it to me. And I realize, wait, I'm in here with Brooks because he had to take a deuce. And I'm forgetting all about that. I'm like, are you still holding it? He's like, Daddy, I got to go potty now. And I'm like, I forgot that my son had to potty. And then Amanda's driving through the drive-thru trying to get my drugs. So I don't have my wallet. And I'm like, hold it. So I run outside, and Amanda's getting out with the baby. She goes, you realize the door's closed, the drive-thru? I'm like, just give me my wallet. Give me both kids. Because the CVS bathroom isn't functioning. It's out of order. So I'm like, you get my drugs. I'll deal with the kids. So I'm holding Parker and taking Brooks up to a Sitco. And we go into the Sitco, and the second I open the door, it looks like somebody crapped and threw up in it. And Brooks takes 4 steps back, and he goes, Daddy, that's nasty. And then the guy that's running the place hears him, and I'm like, he's not wrong. It is nasty. So I get Brooks in there. I'm holding him because I don't want his pants to hit the floor because it's nasty. So I'm holding him. And before he poops, he pees straight into his shorts and his underwear. Pees straight into it.
I've done that.
And then
about 5
the
years
poop.
ago.
Then the poop falls. So I've got Parker, and I've got Brooks trying to wipe himself, but not step on the floor. Then Amanda comes in. I'm like, take the baby. I finish wiping him up, and I have to take him all his clothes off. So I come out of there with a naked kid holding pee pants and shorts, and Brooks like, Daddy, I don't want to be nudie in front of everybody. I'm like, it'll be fine. And then Amanda's strapping the kid in, and we're 10 minutes from home, and all this has happened. He couldn't wait. So I'm like, you know what, the F. So finally we get home, and she's giving warm baths to the kids. I'm unloading the car, and it's over. So I need a vacation from vacation. That's mine. I'm going to end it there with hell. And I just want to mention our sponsors. I want to thank circle285.com. Let me tell you, insurance matters on the car, on the kids, on the house. Get a free quote. All you got to do is go to Circle 285 and ask for a free quote. They will get you lower insurance, get you better insurance, and get you with a type A company. I also want to thank oxygenfinancial.com. Ted Jenkins, he's the man for your finances. And lastly, the man I need to talk to, David Markwell. He is a psychiatrist, and he owns Ridgeline Counseling. You can go to ridgelinecounseling.com and check my man out. That's all I got, Brett.
Oh, I almost feel like an asshole about to share my week.
No, this is good. We got the bad out of the way. We've talked about all of our great sponsors. Now, I saw the pictures. I'm going to tease it. There's not much more to say. I put mine out on social media. If you want to follow me on Instagram or Facebook, Southside Steve Rickman or Steve Rickman, follow it. The videos are up. I'm even on damn, what do you call it? TikTok. I'm on TikTok. I put videos out on TikTok now. So check it out.
China outlet.
I know it. God bless America. I wasn't going to do it.
I dumped it because some of that stuff around election.
Yeah. Well, I didn't have it then. I got it later. So we're going to switch gears on the Yeah Come On show. Again, Southside Steve, my buddy Brett Barney had what I saw. One of the most brilliant vacations. I just want to toss a tease out. There was a golf game in Kiowa. There was a man that is now taking over for Tiger Woods until he can return. And there was another man named Brett Barney. As far as I know, your coverage was awesome. So take it, brother. Tell me about you and your young wife going to Kiowa with your family. So I want to know beach talk and I want golf talk. Slay me. Make me feel better about this world.
Okay, so the entire trip started with this. We didn't go until Tuesday. So that Monday afternoon, we got hit up. One of my wife's friends said, "Hey, do you guys want to come to the Braves game? We have free tickets at the Chop House." Yeah, I want to start my vacation with a Braves game. That sounds perfect. Bought a parking pass. Now, I am going to give a shout out. The place that I parked, it honestly kind of sucked because it was so far away. And there was this other couple, and we get into an elevator, and you have to go up an elevator, then up this ramp, then across. It's over kind of by the mall. So, I mean, it's
Okay.
probably like the farthest fucking parking you can find if you want to be at a Braves game. And we get in the elevator, and the guy's like, "Yo, what's up, Brett?" And just starts talking to me. And in my mind, and I'm sure he's going to listen to this, but in my mind, I'm going, "Okay, how do I know this guy? How do I know this guy? How do I know this guy?"
Because you're
And
looking at him going, he's talking to me, he knows who I am. Who is he?
yeah. And my wife, after we get out of the elevator, goes, "Well, thanks for introducing me." And I'm like,
Well,
I'll
damn.
be honest with you. And I've told her this. Like, I'm sure you probably say this to Amanda. Hey, whenever you walk into a party or a situation, if I don't introduce you to somebody that I work with or something, it's one of those situations.
Thank you.
It's not that I'm trying to be rude. It's I don't know their name, or I'm not 100% sure what their name is. They may know who I am, but I don't know theirs. I'm really, like, honestly, I'm awful with names. I'm terrible with names. I'm really good with faces. I'm terrible with names. And this guy's saying this to me, and I'm sitting there. It's just running through my head. Who's this? Who is this? Who is this?
Who's this?
Figure
Who's
out
this?
he's a listener to the podcast. He's a fan. He listens every Friday.
Oh,
Watches
damn.
on
That's
YouTube. His name's
awesome, bro.
Jared. He's been following you since back in the day. He's just a little bit older than me. And then when we walked to the game, we were sharing stories about being in high school and hanging out in the parking lot and going in late to school because we were listening to the regular guys and stuff like that. And it was his birthday and all this stuff. So he was a super nice guy. And I can't remember if it was I believe it was his wife. They were super cool, and that was awesome. It was a great start for everything. Go in the game. Braves lose, kind of sucks, but got to sit in the Chop
Yeah.
House, drink a couple beers. Who cares? Came home, got everything together, went and picked up my mom. So you got me, my wife, and my mom in my car driving 5.5 hours. I'm like, okay, this could be interesting. We basically, her and I packed like a couple things. We get to my mom's house. She had told me the night before, she sent me a text, said, "Hey, just so you know, we have your uncle's, it's like one of those rooftop carriers." And I said to her,
Right.
I was like, "Why the fuck are we going to need that? I have an SUV now. Like, we're not going to need a rooftop carrier."
No,
And
no. I
her
almost thought I was going to need one. You don't want to put that on top of your car if you don't have to, or truck.
her response to me was, "You only live once." And I'm sitting there thinking all day, what does that mean? You only live
Yeah.
once. So we get to her place. She bought all the food for the entire week. So we had
Oh,
to
but
take
that's way cool. Way to go, mom.
Yeah, like, I mean, 7 pounds of bacon, sausage, anything and everything you could think of, wine, Chardonnay. I don't know, Chardonnay. I'm saying that, but that probably wasn't there. I don't know, but tons and tons of stuff. So we packed the car. I can't see dick out the back. I only have my sides, and we just take off, and we're going. I did have a stop in Augusta to use a bathroom that didn't work, which kind of sucked. And it was one of
Nice.
those ones where it was the gas station bathroom, but at the gas station, the bathroom's not in the gas station. It's an exterior one with the key and the like the tire, or not like the wheel, the hubcap on the chain.
Yeah.
And it didn't work. So I was like, all right, I'm out of here. I was like, this is not starting well. And then we get there, my brother's there, and we stayed on this place called St. John's Island. And it was this
Okay.
private community. We rented a townhouse. It was the most beautiful house. And I'd had some issues with the rental company leading into this. My wife found the place. I rented it. My brother and I split it. So I was like, this is going to be awesome. Well, my brother's kids are the same age as both of your kids. I think they're actually both like 2 months younger, which I find very weird. You guys are on the same like ovulation schedule, like Amanda and my sister-in-law. I don't know what it
Yeah.
is. I'm sure he's going to hear this and be like, dude, that's so weird that you talked about that. But so we have a 3-year-old and like a 9-month-old, and
Yeah.
it was a little bit different than any vacation I've been on. So they all go to bed at 9 o'clock at night. My wife and I sit up, we watch the Braves games because we can't anymore now because we have YouTube TV, which is all bullshit. Can't watch Braves games ever unless we go to a bar or actually go to the game. So I was pumped about that. And next thing you know, day one, 5:45 in the morning, crying babies, playing 3-year-old. And they, like I said, they all went to bed at 9. We're up till 2. I'm thinking, what did we get ourselves into? This is day one.
Dude, it's brutal. You think that they're like old school or like old or like, oh my God, going to bed at 9. What the hell? My brother's a puss. No, dude, it's like rest. My wife gets to bed the second she can. If she can get in that bed by 8:30, she's in it because you're exhausted. Because the kids, some of them don't nap. That 3-year-old may not be napping of your brother's, and he's going all day. And it's like, and it's hell to get them down.
They never run out of energy.
They don't run out. They're Energizer Bunny, man. Now, the little one will go down a couple of times, but even he will wake up 2 and 3 times a night. My son wakes up at least 3 times a night. They're exhausted.
So we did, the first day was on the beach, and it was.
Were you, by the way, were you annoyed by it? So you're not ready for kids yet?
So this is really funny. Ever since the marriage, she's been like,
well, we're married.
Start wanting to talk about it.
I'm losing eggs. I'm losing eggs, Brett.
Okay, sorry. The wife just walked in, and the dog just barked.
We're talking about your eggs.
Yeah, we're talking about your eggs. I just told her that, and she looks very clueless. All right, so we get there. Okay, we get there day one. It's like 20+ mile an hour winds. If anybody watched a PGA Championship first couple of days, everybody saw that the winds are brutal, but there's like
same winds I was dealing with, dude. Florida was a wreck. The coast was a wreck. Both coasts, Atlantic and Gulf.
We could go out in the water. Nobody said anything. They were just cruising down. So we're having a couple drinks, but it's blowing sand and the baby's not enjoying it and all this stuff. Dolphins come by. We get to see all that stuff. There's jellyfish all over the beach. So the 3-year-old's having a blast. I'm letting my brother and his wife kind of have a good time. I'm keeping an eye on their son for a few minutes. I'm sure like he's going to be like, bullshit, we were watching him. But it was overall, it was like a really good day. I didn't put any sunscreen on. I got burned. That's awesome. And we just enjoyed the entire night and the experience. The next day, we get up. So we're trying to set out the schedule. We have tickets to go to the championship Thursday, Friday, Saturday. We didn't buy Sunday, which we could have, but we all knew we had to travel. We didn't want to rent the house for another day. So we were like, all right, let's just leave Sunday. And Thursday, we get up at 5:45 in the morning because we noticed one person is playing that neither of us had ever seen, and it's John Daly. And he's teeing off at 7:44 in the morning. And right outside of our gate of our community, which I guess nobody really in our community was going to the tournament, was the public parking where you go get on the shuttle. So all the traffic was coming in from one side, and we literally just came to the other side, and it was a right turn, slip in, and they let us cut through every single time. Waited in no traffic.
Oh, awesome.
And when you had to leave, guess what? Everyone's going this way. The cop would direct us the other way. Boom, we were right back home like that. It was amazing. Zero
That's
traffic.
Glorious. I'm so happy for you. That never happens to me.
Never.
That's so great.
That's never happened to me in my life. And I was just like, we couldn't have found a better place to stay at all. And so we go the next day. We get there. We follow John Daly on the front 9. He teed off at 7:44 in the morning. We get all our stuff from the store, our swag, and running around just carrying stuff. Now, I will say this did kind of suck about the tournament, the alcohol prices. Because, I'm going to have a drink. Beers were $16.
That's stupid. That's
for a
just
25-ounce Michelob Ultra, who was the sponsor.
Wow.
A 16-ounce Michelob Ultra was $13, and a Michelob Ultra Seltzer was $14. A hot dog was $10, and a hamburger was $16.
Dude,
prices
you got to shove a flask in
brutal.
Your pants. Tell me you shoved a flask in your pants.
So we did Thursday, and we pretty much stayed on the front 9 because they had the splits, and we got to see everybody and stand next to them. One of the cool ones was in the afternoon, Phil Mickelson hit a ball on 2, and, he ended up winning, and his ball landed right next to us. So we got to watch him, and he came over and joked with the crowd, and then he did his whole breakdown with his caddy of how he was going to hit his next shot on the par 5, and I got to listen to him, and I'm like, he plays a completely different game than any person I've ever played with, that I've ever heard talk about golf. The way him and his caddy were talking about golf and the grass and the shadows and the stickiness and the moisture and this and that. And like this club and a third of swing and 2/3 and this, it's completely different than any of us play. I don't know anybody that plays with that kind of mindset, but he does. And I was like, that was really, really fucking cool.
No,
So,
and your pictures, if you follow Brett,
I
Brett
haven't
Barney
posted them all. I'm actually saving them to post them on the podcast page this week.
All right, put them on the podcast page. I tell you what, I will give you the butt paste picture, and we can post that on the podcast. So we'll do a little bit of work. We'll put up the highlights. You get Phil, I get butt paste. I do have a picture of my son getting on the ambulance man. It's like, why did you take that picture? I go, I don't know.
Exactly.
I don't know why I did it, but I did it. And real quick, I don't want to interrupt you, but I got a call too from somebody, a Brandon Henson. Dude, longtime fan. We met once at your bar, Southside Steve's. You were there with Amanda. I didn't know you had a podcast. Man, I'm loving the Yeah Come On show. And I went, thanks so much for listening. And he's like, it's highly entertaining. So, Brandon Henson, here's to you. Another great fan from me and Brett. Thank you. There you go, brother.
Here's to Brandon and Jared, both of them.
Brandon and Jared. And I hope, Brandon, you're enjoying, and Jared, you're enjoying Brett's stories, because this is a wonderful vacation compared to mine. So keep going. So you listen to Phil talk. You got great pictures that you're going to post up that you could touch Phil.
It's
awesome.
It's even better. So like, I'm definitely the guy. I'm not going to Baba Booey anybody or mashed potatoes. But when Brooks is walking by Brooks, I mean Brooks Koepka,
Sure.
My brother and I are yelling, that's Gucci and stuff, because that's one of the things he said last year when he hit a shot and nobody was there and everybody here. He was like, oh, that's Gucci. So
that Gucci.
Yeah, so we're yelling, and like Justin Thomas, we're giving him roll tides and stuff and getting nods and whatnot from people. But we go to, I want to say it's like 6 or 7. The green's right here, and you're underneath the tree. So the front 9 at Kiowa is the only part of the course that has shade. There's no shade on the back 9. So we kind of stayed away because my wife has fair skin. And
don't ruin her skin. I like her skin. Don't ruin it.
I like it.
It looks good.
Yeah. But so we stayed on the front 9. I will say I was very surprised by this. I didn't really care for the guy very much before the tournament, but he quickly became one of my favorite golfers, Bryson DeChambeau. I was a Brooks Koepka guy. I may be turning to a Bryson DeChambeau guy. And my reasons why, the par 5, I think it's like 6 or 7, as I was saying, because it's like the green right here and the tee box right here. He's with Matsuyama and Morikawa. So you have last year's PGA champion and the Masters champion and the US Open champion all together. And they were right behind the group that was Justin Thomas, Rory McIlroy, and I want to say Koepka might have been in that group, but I may be incorrect, or it may have been Ricky. No, because Ricky was with Adam Scott. Doesn't matter. But either way, we stayed to watch that, and Bryson gets up and he hits this bomb. And, that's what everybody knows him for now. He hits these long drives, and he's giving like the Happy Gilmore pump up the crowd. Then he hits the long drive, and he's blowing kisses to everybody. And this is Thursday. This isn't a practice round. This is now we're making money round, and he's having fun. And I'm like, that's awesome. So we stayed. They went on to the back. We stayed. We just jumped back around to 1. We watched Phil and started watching all the other guys come through. So we're checking on our phones. Okay, Bryson just finished. We got to get over to the driving range because we want to see him, because everybody knows that he stays the latest on the range. May not be the first guy on the course, but he's always the last guy on the course, and he probably hits 2,000 balls a day easily. And by the time we get
that's
there,
unbelievable.
He's coming off the practice screen to the ramp over us to the driving range. And my brother and I get up there, and we're like front row center right behind Bryson DeChambeau. It's me, my brother, and like 5 Chads. And by Chads, I mean like broskies. 21, hammered drunk, slurring words, talking shit. Like SEC kids, polos, probably docksiders. And everybody's going to give me shit because that's 100% who I was 10 years ago. And I dress a little bit different now, a little more casual, and I've grown up and I have a 401k. So fuck you. But
Nice
these
way to rub it in.
so these guys are just sitting there, and Bryson's just kind of hitting his balls and doing his thing. And he's got AirPods in, and he takes the drive route, and we're like, finally, this is what we want to see. He's hitting into a 20-mile-an-hour wind. He hits a drive. It goes up, and they have this big scoreboard, and I actually videotaped some of this, and it tells you how far the ball carries, the apex, the ball speed, everything like that. He finally hits one. It goes 298 into a 20-mile-an-hour wind. Carries 298.
That's
The whole
badass.
crowd at this point, there's probably about 100 of us, goes, oh, and he turns and pulls an AirPod out and goes, what do you guys want? We all go, 300, 300. That's when I pulled my phone out and I started taping. I got about 1 minute and 36 seconds video on my phone. So he goes, all right, let's do this. Let's go 300. Starts hammering. He finally hits one, 302. The whole crowd erupts. And we're all super pumped. I have this all on video. And
nice.
He, I wish I would have kept rolling. So I cut it off. He just goes back to hitting. The guy next to me, the Chad, goes, hey, Bryson, what are you listening to? Imagine Dragons? Yuck. Him and all his buddies are laughing. Bryson DeChambeau turns around, looks at the kid, AirPods in, goes, imagine dragging this. Blasts one, turns around, looks at his nuts, and goes,
jeez,
Bofa. And I was like, dude, did you just tell them to drag both your nuts to the fans?
Bofa. Yes.
And then
that's what he did?
Dude, it erupted. Everybody laughed their asses off. He ended up signing a glove and giving it to the kid next to us. And I was like, this guy is amazing.
That's cool,
so
dude.
that pretty much wrapped up the Thursday. Friday, spent the day in Charleston, went to a bourbon bar, went and ate at some high-end restaurant where my wife used to work with the sous chef. So we got like free caviar and all this stuff, and
nice.
had a good time. And then we went back.
You had sex too, didn't you? Did you have sex on vacation?
See, this is the thing. When you're staying in the room next to your mom and your nephew, yes, but come on, I'm married. Of course I am. Consummated.
Oh, whatever. Have 2 kids. Tell me if you have sex then. Especially when one's sick. See if your wife wants to sit down your sick child that she thinks has a fever and wants to like jump on you. No. There's no love. There's no sex.
I will say the weird thing about Thursday is there was a girl there that, so I didn't mention this on Wednesday when we had passes to like a beach club. Mm-hmm. We walked in and my wife's wearing a long sleeve like Orvis t-shirt that goes down to like mid thigh, and they wouldn't let her in the bar because she wasn't wearing a cover up. And so we had to go get her a towel and wrap her. And it was just like this whole ordeal. Then we get to the golf course. This is the PGA Championship. And there's a girl standing next to us who I have a picture of her from the back. I didn't take it. Somebody else did. I won't say who. And she's wearing a see-through cover-up and like the cheeky bikini and like tits hanging out and everything. And I'm just thinking, so she can come in the PGA Championship, but my wife can't order a pina colada at the bar with a long Orvis shirt on. What a load of shit.
Yep. That's exactly what it is. And I know the person who took the picture was either you or your brother. No, your mom took it.
No, because she wasn't there.
Okay.
Only the 3 of us went to the tournament. But yeah, so basically we ended up having a good time. We went back Saturday, followed a bunch of people. They had a big bar at the 8th hole, made friends with one of the bartenders. He was from Nashville. The funny thing is, I think his name is actually Jared as well. And just got blasted, ran up. My brother and I, after they finished through 8, there was no security around. So we ran up and took pictures on the green. My wife, my brother, and I were like, wait, if we're standing on the green, let's just grab the flag. So we ran over and grabbed the flag, and we're like going like this with it. And
oh, that's nice.
And in hindsight, I was thinking, what if we would have stolen the flag, like the 8th flag, and brought that back?
Yeah, they would. I don't know. I don't know what would happen to you. You'd have to shove the flag down your pants and hope nobody saw you do it. I don't know. If you pulled that off, it'd be kind of cool. It is great, though, when these tournaments go through, like a professional tournament, like the Bell South Classic, I think, was at Sugarloaf. And I was at Keith Brooking, former linebacker for Georgia Tech and our Atlanta Falcons. Then he went to the Cowboys. But I'm at Brooking's house watching it, and we're sitting there hanging out in his hot tub watching. I'm on cloud 9. Well, once they're done and they run through, the crowd leaves. It's like it's wide open. Nobody's there. So
Yeah.
he goes, you want to play it? I go, seriously? Because he lived on the par three. That dude went and he goes, what's everybody hitting? I go, I don't know, grab a 8-9 and a wedge and get a putter and let's do it. We went up to the top and we're all, you know, just like barefooted and we're playing the par three. Not 15 minutes after the last foursome twosome went through, and I was like, this is cool, you know. So kind of like what you're talking about. People don't realize when you're at the tournament that once that last
It
twosome goes
clears
through,
out. It's
it clears
empty.
out. It's a ghost town.
Yeah,
Hmm.
Phil and Usain walked through, and it's just like boom, it's dead empty. So we ran up there and did pictures, and
That's
then
cool, man.
yeah,
You did
I
it
know.
at a major. That's a major. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I did have somebody. I did tell somebody. I was like, man, I should have taken the flag, but then they said, which I thought this was a good point. If you saw somebody take the flag, would you be like, that's cool, or they're a dick? I was like, I'd be like, they're a dick.
They're
So
dick.
I was
It's a
like,
dick move.
and I
Yeah.
bought a flag, so it didn't matter anyways. So I
Man,
didn't.
I wish you could have got Phil to say, hey Phil, I know you're about to hit a shot. You mind signing my flag? Hey Phil, I got a golf ball. Can you sign it? Phil, do you happen to have an extra ball you can sign for me? I mean, just take it up a notch. Just ask.
But yeah, overall it was really fun. And then, like I said, Saturday we kind of just hung,
Yeah, I hate you.
did it again. And
Your
Sunday came
vacation.
around and we went to the beach club and hung out there after we were supposed to check, or after we checked out, and had lunch and drinks. And my wife and I went and walked on the
What a
beach.
wonderful life you have.
Get this, we're walking on the beach and I've never seen this before in my life. Woman and her son, probably 4 or 5 years old, they're bopping around in the water. Guess what rolls up? Big shark, fin and
Shark?
everything coming out. Everyone's shark, shark, cleared out of the water.
Get out of
Shark.
the water, man.
Yeah, I'd never seen it before in my life. We watched it. I was like, add that one. Gators on the course. There was a bird that laid a nest in the middle of the walkway between, I guess, Thursday and Saturday that they had roped off, and got to see the little like sandpiper nest. And I don't know, man, it was awesome. Deer everywhere. Meeting really cool people. The largest house next to the course was this one that has this rooftop patio and like Circus Olay tents on the roof, which looks ridiculous. I looked up the price on the house. It's like $6 million. Did nothing on Thursday. Come back on Saturday. Guess what's hanging from it? Freaking huge Alabama flag. Let's go, Roll Tide.
I hope you carry that miniature, degree card, in your wallet where you're like, hello, coming in.
No, what I do is I just tell people, ask me like 2 + 2, and it's probably 3. So I count the 11.
Do you have an
once I
Alabama
get past my
tattoo?
fingers.
Do you have an Alabama tattoo on your body anywhere?
I do not have any tattoos.
You need to get a little A on the ass.
No
and
way.
That'll help you. Nobody's going to see it but your wife and me.
That is true.
Think about it. But then when you got to go to these Alabama things, all you do is flash the cheek. Hey, what up? And put class up. What year did you graduate?
2011.
Say, yeah, just throw a little, 2011 up under it and be like, what's up?
No, I'm not doing any of that. That is so hillbilly.
I know, but you went to the college
Hillbilly. Yeah.
hillbilly. What the fuck? No. I'm the classy guy that went to Alabama.
So the best part was I ran to go get drinks on that Saturday at the end, and we're sitting at 17 at the par 3, between 17 and 18. And I left my brother and my wife, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna go buy us all drinks. They ran out of alcohol on Saturday, and they could only buy X amount of alcohol. So only 2 bars were going to be left for Sunday, and they had minimal alcohol. They'd only had liquor, wine, and what else? And seltzer. That was it. No beers.
What were liquor
Beers,
drinks going for? If
18.
beers 18? Dude, that's Miami prices, dude. That is insane. 18, 19, $20 for a
And guess what
shot.
the liquor was?
What?
Chipper Jones Moonshine. And I swear to God, I thought I saw Chipper there.
I didn't even know Chipper had a moonshine.
Yeah.
Shit. That's hilarious. And he got it in there. Well, all right, but I've got some of that moonshine too. These people that make it manufacture moonshine.
Same thing, like Sugarland or whatever.
Yeah, I've got several bottles of that crap. It's not moonshine. I mean, you you
I got
get
a bottle
drunk
of it.
off
I
of
can't
it.
even give it away.
No, it's nasty.
I got it for free for a promo at the station back in the day, and there's about
There
this
you go.
much drank out of it. But
Hmm.
yeah, all in all, it was a great time. Met a lot of cool people. My wife fell in love with golf, which I think is great. So I can keep doing more of this. Yeah.
Now you got a wonderful, wonderful life. Your wife loves golf. My wife would go to the Masters. She's up next, but I don't know if I'd be able to go. It's like my father-in-law took me, so I think he would take her. He usually has one extra pass, so it's like what the hell, And my brother-in-law is Richie Rich, and his dad has a membership at East Lake. So I'm like, look, man, you've seen it too many times. Your ass ain't going. My wife will go. And he married my sister-in-law. I'm like, no, nah, sorry, she's going to get to do wonderful things with you and your father. Uh, my wife's going next, but it'd be fun. She'd want to. I just want her to love the game too. I want her to play the game. Then I can get a membership where I live.
See, I don't care about playing, but I was just glad that she enjoyed being in the atmosphere because she even said that she was like, it's way different watching it on TV, sitting on the couch and actually being there and you're standing around and you're moving. I mean, so we looked at it. We did 12 miles walking a day and we only stayed on the front nine. That's how long the front nine is.
Yeah, dude,
12
it's brutal.
miles.
You're right, because I was wearing one too. I mean, that's when everybody was in it. What was it, the step thing or whatever? Forget what it's called. What's the brand that you wear? That
Oh,
remember when it was the little black deal that everybody wore? I've got
I
two
know.
of them.
And I suck because I wear the Apple Watch.
You got the Apple one, but yeah, back then it's all about your steps, and I was like, holy shit, you end up walking 10 miles at a major or a
Yeah.
lot of these golf tournaments. You do
And imagine if I
straight
did
up.
the back nine too.
Oh yeah, dude, you'd have been like 20 miles
15.
in.
Yeah. So all
Damn.
in all, it was a great trip. We had a lot of fun. Got burned by the sun. Had good drinks. I don't know. I feel so bad. Like yours was completely opposite
Oh
of
no,
ours.
no, there was one glimmer of hope. There was an area where a stream is channeling into the ocean, and everybody was around that because at various times it could be 2 to 3 feet deep. So there's that dark water with little fish in it, and then there's the clear, which is the ocean, and they're meeting, and battling each other. So I took my son down to what I call the redneck swimming hole, and that's what we did at 38. That was the only way I could get him in the water. That was it, because they didn't care, because you were protected by the beach. So I've got some videos of that, just letting him swim around and have fun. But I'm like, I couldn't get him in the ocean. Like he got in there for one day, and he's a badass. He grabs hold of the boogie board. He wiped out, rolled, gets up. He's taking swimming lessons right now. I took him for swimming lessons all this week. It's 10 minutes a day, 7 days in a row, and they guarantee your kid will swim before it's over. You're like, okay, that's intense. So I got to drive him not too far, probably about 10 minutes, 12 minutes for a 10-minute lesson. It's somebody's big ass house in their big ass pool. And this guy does swimming lessons, but he's renowned. He doesn't live there. He just rents pools.
It's actually a pretty genius move.
It is. And then I'm like, today was payday. You pay after the third lesson, and it's like $525, which is a lot for 7 lessons for 70 minutes. But it's like everybody raves about him. My mom, or excuse me, my mother-in-law, my wife, they've all checked with all these mothers, all these sites they belong to. And everybody says it's high, but it's worth it. Go to this guy. Go to this guy. So we did. So
Hey
I'm doing
man.
that. So our next beach trip, my kid won't be in floaties. We'll be out there in the water. Damn it, I better not be affected by double flags ever again.
Hey, I'll tell you this. Like I said, my brother's kids are just like a month or two younger than yours. And my nephew is wearing floaties and they live in Tampa near the water and they have a beach or a pool in their backyard. I'm like, how is he still in floaties? We're
Yeah,
former
because
lifeguards. We trained people how to swim and saved
because
lives.
you're lazy and you just don't want to. And right now they're having so much fun because they like jumping into the deep end. They like going wherever they want to go. And the floaties are a babysitter. That's why he's doing it. About the time they're 4, you're like, okay, I don't want my kid to be the last one to learn to swim. And then you jump on the swimming lessons.
Oh, by the way, for anybody going crazy right now, I did remember it's called a Fitbit.
Thank you. Thank you. I own 2 of those bitches. And all of a sudden, no. And at the time, because I wear a watch, I got a watch on one hand and a Fitbit on the other. I look like a douchebag. I'm like, all
Yeah,
right.
what else is new? So
Dick.
come on, we got to get some jabs in. All I've got left, I can go Brett's brain or random thing I found online that completely shocked me.
Hold the shocking thing you found online for next week.
Oh no,
Teaser.
we're gonna go
Teaser.
over it. We're gonna go over this.
You sure?
Yeah, I'm
I thought
about
you
to put
got
you.
Brett's, but I want Brett's brain.
I got Brett's brain. I got a
All right,
couple
let's do
things
those
left.
two. Let's do those
And
two,
text messages, and we
end our show. Go.
yeah. Okay. So SNL ended their season, and I don't really watch SNL, but I did watch the episode with Elon Musk because I'm a Dogecoin douche, and I thought that would be fun. It actually kind of sucked as an episode, and now I kind of watch
I
a little bit of
watched
the
it.
bits. What'd you think?
I thought it was douchey too. I didn't think he was that good. He's so dry and so weird. I look at him, I'm like, dude, are you made of plastic? I don't know. He's just a strange looking dude. But I watched it for the Dogecoin thing. And right now, as we speak, Dogecoin is trading. Oh, it's down, down, down. Look at that crap.
That's not good. I still have a bunch of it.
I do too. Let's just say I've got maybe half of my investment. It's where I'm at. I'm like, yeah, we're hurting. I need this thing to grow. I need it to grow.
I cleared a couple coins out, and I took my investment out and made some money off of it, and I still have a good bit in it.
Good for you. Good for you. All right, what you guys?
Okay, so this was my thought watching SNL. I think about kind of random things like this all the time, hence Brett's brain. So let's think about a skit, right? Maybe Vinny Bucci could pull this off.
Sure.
What if Colonel Sanders had Tourette's and he couldn't control himself from randomly yelling out these secret herbs and spices to KFC's fried chicken? And a team around him always kind of had to keep him sealed. So like he was like walking in places, he'd be like, nice to meet you, Colonel Reagan. No. Okay, I probably shouldn't have gone that hard, but garlic, powder, salt.
Thank God this is a podcast. Thank God it is.
And these people are like, Colonel, stop. And like people were always like, what else? Trying to write it down. He just would like randomly Colonel Sanders with Tourette's yelling out. Look, if Ed Norton can do it, I can do it, okay?
Oh, my goodness. I'm just having fun with it. By the way, I said spaghetti. Eat me if you think I'm bad. That's funny. That's funny. You gotta laugh. You gotta laugh at everything. Well, when life throws you lemons, you make lemonade.
I don't know why I thought it'd be like the funniest SNL skit, like Colonel Sanders.
I don't know.
But he has Tourette's.
I don't know if they do that or not. I had one friend that had Tourette's, and there's different forms of it, but he was the cussing guy. He was like, whatever popped in his mind that you're not supposed to say, he would say. So when you were out with him, there was a lot of explaining and a lot of like, there's certain events I wouldn't go with him to, because I'm like, nah, we're not going to do this. I'm not getting my ass kicked for you. Because there's, for every person that believes he has it, somebody else believes he doesn't, and he's just being a jerk. So it's a tough one.
Yeah, I feel bad for. I grew up with people, or I actually had a friend I played football with that had it.
Yeah,
it's a tough disease, but I always just, for some reason, I had this thought, and I thought it would be funny if. But
well, here's the
like,
deal.
The only things he could yell are the secret recipe.
Ragu.
Yes. ranch powder. And people are like, stop.
Splash of ketchup.
Yes. Do you see where it would be really funny? And like,
that's funny. And he gives up
like a body double for him.
And he gives up the recipe. You're like, no. The guy at Churches is going, what did you say? What did you say?
Popeye's chicken's just falling.
Popeye's right now. Popeye's has got their chicken. They're good. They got that chicken sandwich. They're fine.
So I did see online though, and I'm gonna put you to the test now, actually. So I hope you're ready for this.
Sure.
How's your saliva?
Good. I actually have a very wet mouth. I've had one Jack and Coke, and I've got water standing by, so I'm good. Oh, and what is it in? Oh, an Auburn glass. Sorry about that.
Eh, can't win them all.
It's the wife. It's the wife. She went there, and no, don't blame me.
Okay, so I saw this thing online and I wanted to test it on you.
Okay.
It said that you can swallow 2 to 3 times before your body forces you to stop. And I was going to see if you could sit here and swallow 4 times before.
Just swallow.
Yeah, just
Okay.
swallow. You have to take a full swallow and count.
Okay.
And I'll count them out. 1, 2, 3. Are we getting 3? 3? Are we going to 4?
I can't do
You
it.
can't. So it's true. It's true. I didn't know this was real.
I can't do it, dude. I can get 3, and that third was not easy. The fourth is impossible. Wow. That's
I didn't know that was real. Your body shuts it down. You can't swallow more than 3 times.
I heard your wife could do 8.
Yeah, but that's only when 9 of us are in the room.
I love the fact that you and I both are impossible to offend. You can say anything about me. Say anything about my mom, my wife. I don't care. I'm going to laugh at everything.
So it doesn't matter. I'm really just amazed that was honestly
That's good.
Something.
That's true. It's absolutely true. 3. If
Anybody
3,
at home,
if you like.
please try that. If you can do 4, send us a video. We will send you a hat.
We'll send you a come on hat. Yeah.
You need to prove that it's a consistent 4 with no editing to the video.
Thank you. Has to be. Yes. I'm with you.
All right. So just so everybody knows, if you ever want to contact us, you can hit us up 678-693-2269. Again, 678-693-2269 or 6786. Yeah, boy. Of course.
Yeah, boy.
Or email us, yeahcomeonshow@gmail.com. You can also go on social media at the Yeah Come On Show on Instagram as well as Twitter. I run both those. Steve does our Facebook. If you leave a comment on our Apple podcast, I always check those. I know a bunch of people are telling me, Brett, don't take the picture frame, take the money and run. Steve and I already talked about it. Got the check today. Let's go. We clear in coin. Got it. Thank you, by the way. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
But we did get some texts since we've been gone, and I want to read these to you because they're a little weird. And I don't
like
know,
weird. Go ahead.
I don't know if what I did was right or wrong. So our first one said, "Hey man, thanks for the gummy bears." And because we're on vacation, they responded later, "Nothing." So just so you know, I'm actually now responding to all these people. Wednesday nights, I will sit down and I'll personally send people messages. You know what? If we get that far into it, I'm going to make Steve start responding to these, and you don't know what he's going to say.
You don't know. I don't know what I'm going to say until I say it. I don't know what I do until I do it.
So, Steve, I do need help responding to this next one.
Go ahead.
All it says is this: I want to munch on your crunchy turds.
Mine are wet and slippery, so that doesn't help. I want to munch on your crunchy turds. At my house or yours? That'd be my response.
I already sent a response.
What'd you write?
I've been eating corn for this occasion. I didn't know what else to say.
I don't know. That's great. It's either corn or what's the other one you can see? I had one time, I thought this is going to sound horrible, but it's true. I was immature shit, and it's just a hot mess. I'm like 22 years old, and I'd gone out to one of those like lettuce surprise you places and eaten a bunch of lettuce. My stomach was upset, and my stomach hurt, and I don't know why. It's probably from the meal before the lettuce. But I went ahead and took a deuce, and when I did, a big hunk of lettuce came out of my butt. It was all clear, and it was laying in there with the poop, and I thought I'd shit out my stomach liner.
Good God.
I'm like, is that my rectal liner or my stomach liner? What is that? What is that? And it took me a minute to figure out after I had to make roommates look at it that it was just a hunk of lettuce. But I didn't know what it was. It was just clear. It looked like a condom floating in there, and I knew I hadn't swallowed a condom. So I was like, "Is that my stomach liner? Is that my rectal liner? Am I dying? Am I about to die? Am I about to start bleeding out of my butt? What's happening?" That happened to me.
All right, I'm gonna wrap it up with this one last thing. Talking about shitting
Go
your
ahead.
stomach out. Julio Jones. Let's hit one at home. Is Julio Jones going to leave the Falcons? I think so.
I do. I do, just because it makes financial sense. He's due 15.3 million, and with the overhead of the Falcons, and the fact he's injury prone, they're going to let him go. As much as I hate it, I wish he could finish as a Falcon, but they're going to let him go.
They have to, and everybody knows what happened on what disputed or undisputed. I don't know. I don't watch the show. It was Shannon Sharp and Skip Bayless, and Shannon called him and put him on speakerphone, and now they're saying that he could be facing jail time for having done so, and that Fox is possibly going to get a big fine. Which actually, fun fact, I called out Shelley one time on air, said now that Brian Kemp is the governor, is he as accessible to you as he was when he was running? Current governor Shelley legitimately on the show, only two of us in studio, pulls out his phone, calls Brian Kemp. I said, put it on speaker, puts it on speaker, 2 rings. He answers, "Yo, what's up, Shelley?" at 7:00 in the morning. And I looked at him, I shut the mics off, said, "Gotta tell him he's on air. Gotta tell him he's on air. Cannot do this if we don't tell him he's on air. I don't care. We won't play anything else. I'll go to traffic. I'll go to a commercial." And he goes, "Hey, you're
You
on air."
did the right thing. A person has to know, FCC, that they're on air. What we figured, because we talked about it too on Rock 100.5. And it's a tough spot. I'm good friends with Shannon. I got to know Shannon working at Gene's Body Tech in Buckhead. For like literally, I was around Shannon for 10 years, twice a week, and he's very guarded, but he was open with my trainer, and through him, I got to know him. And Shannon's cool as crap. And then I was coming home one day, and Shannon was in an accident. Somebody had hit his Range Rover downtown, and I was on my way to Castleberry, so I stopped with him, hung out with him for like 50 minutes until they came and got his car, and he was glad because he was kind of like a spectacle. I go, "Man, just sit in your car. I'll stand out and wait." And we just kind of talked to see, you don't need people stopping to talk to you. And it just really, he's come on the air 2 or 3 times for me. Even when with the current morning show, he's come on the air, but when Bailey was out, he came on, on Rock 100.5, like I said, several times. He has a sense of humor, and it's kind of childlike because he's a really innocent dude. Shannon doesn't party, doesn't do drugs, doesn't drink. Shannon is a total specimen and an athlete, and he's just really about the field and the body. So I thought that it was a joke. I thought that, knowing him the way I do, that he probably called and wanted to set something up, and it was just a big joke. But if he did it and it wasn't a joke and he just called, I want to believe he knows better. But if he did that, yeah, he could be in serious trouble. I just hope he's not.
I'm with you. And my only thought behind this when I saw it all happen was going to college, doing the whole, I mean, when you get a communications degree, the toughest classes you take at the end, they're comm law.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when they teach you how to avoid trouble, how you could get sued, how you could this, and the tests aren't like A, B, or C. It's legitimately, it's a question, and you have to write in everything. And a lot of times it was verbatim. If you missed a comma, that was a point off. I mean, it's very serious
Wow.
when it comes down to it. So I thought in my mind, he probably didn't have to do that to get this job because he's a former athlete.
Probably not. But they got to have a producer, just like you protected
Which, exactly,
Shelley.
that's a producer's job.
Producers got to save your ass. People don't realize that. I've been dumped, where you dump out to save you. I've been directed. I've had my butt saved. You just do, because you get caught up in the moment sometimes, even though you know better. Just like on a podcast, you and I can say pretty much whatever we want, but when I'm on air, I know the difference. And you watch what you say. I've made a mistake or two. We all know I suffered a 10-day suspension recently, but that was a calculated statement. It was such BS because I would never in a million years do what I said I would do. And it was just meant to be shock humor. And I told that story years before we were in this woke world. And you can get in trouble for stuff, you know?
Yeah, I got in trouble for one thing the whole time I was at 106.7. One thing I ever said on air. And I guess I can say it here. It doesn't matter. Did the whole story. It came out years ago. You can look this up. It was a history report that said Hitler had a micro penis. And before I went into the show to do my segment, that was my last story. The guy that was running the show said, "Man, no wonder he was such a prick." And all I thought to myself was, "That's a great kicker line." Did the whole story, ended it with, "No wonder he was such a little prick." And all of a sudden, I walked out. I thought I had just brought the house down.
Yeah.
I brought the wrong house down, and I got reamed for it. But you learn. You learn.
You do. They're just words. People shouldn't be so upset. You know, I think, you know, that's a rabbit hole I choose not to go down. But yeah, I can see where you got in trouble. I hope, because, you know, and the reason I talked about hanging out with Shannon after a car accident or being in the gym is I just want people to know that I've been around him way too much with his guard down and being him. He's just a good dude. He likes to talk trash, but his trash is, I'll run faster than you. I can lift more. I bet I can make this shot. You know, it's all sports related stuff. The guy on a Friday, Saturday night orders a pizza and drinks water, and that's it. I mean, as far as athletes, he's probably about the cleanest, most straight up dude. And I think he's just innocent. I don't know if he knew, and we won't know until, I mean, here's the other thing. Do you think Julio would protect him and say, "Yeah, I knew he was calling me"?
I completely think Julio will protect him. He wouldn't have called Julio, just like Shelley wouldn't have called Governor Kemp, if he didn't think he was going to answer the phone. Because if they don't answer the phone, you have egg on your face.
Oh yeah, I was made to call John Travolta and he didn't answer, and I had egg on my face. It was funny, but I don't care. My whole career is egg on the face. That's what I do. I don't care. If you laugh or you think I'm stupid, that's fine. As long as you laugh, I don't care.
Hey man, helping the world live longer, right? Laughing helps the life.
Well, I just want to say another wonderful show. And next week we will have a guest. May have a little surprise guest for you there, Brett Barney. But it's been another wonderful Yeah Come On show. We're back from vacation. My wife says we're not allowed to go on vacation again because ours was so horrible. So I don't see me missing a show for a long, long time. Maybe not till Christmas. So let's do it. The Yeah Come On show brought to you by our proud sponsor, Circle285.com, for your insurance needs. For your financial needs, hey, it's a time to invest wisely. OxygenFinancial.com, Ted Jenkins. And lastly, if you're going through something, you got any issues at all, never be embarrassed to make the call. Never. And insurance covers it. There's nothing like good, solid counseling, a third party, and especially if it's over like marriage issues or just your own sanity. Ridgeline Counseling, Dr. David Markwell. Both Brett and I have talked to him, and we swear by him. So he's a solid dude. Can I get a yeah, come on?
Yeah, come on. I don't know. That was high pitched. I should have been, yeah, come on.
Wait, oh, dude, that was three testicle. You went from 1 to 3 testicles. Give me 2 testicles.
Yeah, come on.
Yeah, come on.
Yeah, come on. God damn it.
We're going to work on it. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening.